what the House Appropriations Committee did today, I mean, you might win a second consecutive Bob Williams Fiscal Responsibility Award. Ann and her committee did an incredible job of cutting another, I believe it was $644 million of additional waste, fraud, and abuse in government. The ghost employees, wasteful grants, pork spending, economic development money. It was incredible to see. Now, I will caution you, not everything that the Appropriations Committee cut was waste, fraud, and abuse, okay? There are some valid things that were cut. To make it in Michigan Competitiveness Fund, $40 million for Hemlock Semiconductor. Okay, that's a good project. Electric battery projects, hydrogen projects, $10 million they wanted for the Michigan Climate Investment Fund, the $1 million they wanted for EcoWorks. Why should we have to give $10 million to the Michigan Climate Investment Fund just to do this good project with Hemlock Semiconductor? No, we're not doing that. I thought that was a great shot across the bow. $165 million, roughly, of pork spending from the Democrat trifecta. Something we've talked about a lot here. All the pork that they shoved in that budget in the middle of the night. It didn't go through heat. Nobody knew what it was. They passed it in the middle of the night, right before the vote, and we cut all of that. We all know I didn't want to close the books last year, and Ann did. And well, I think this is a great opportunity to close the books, because we could close the books, and then we can put back in here the ones that are good. And there are some that are good. I don't remember what they call it. You know, they have such creative names for these. You remember the $102 million? Oh yeah, community enhancement grants, right? That's secret pork spending. So that $102 million, we cut it. There's some things in there that are good, but there's a whole lot of things in there that are bad. There are waste, fraud, and abuse. Infrastructure grants. I think that one was in Leo. They have such creative names for all the pork spending, don't they? And I will let you know, one of the things we cut was this Yemeni thing. You saw that? That was, a lot of people were asking questions about the Yemeni project, and they filed fake tax returns and all that. Well, we cut that one. We cut all kinds of things, a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse, but the infrastructure grants, $63,478,000 in pork spending gone from the Democrat trifecta. What a great job the committee did. So we cut it was probably about $165 million of Democrat pork spending from their trifecta that they shoved through in the middle of the night. No one knew what it was. There were some good projects in there, but most of them were bad projects. And then, I'm just really proud of all the efforts to eliminate these wasteful. A lot of things in here were part of the Democrats' radical left-wing environmental agenda, all kinds of things for climate resiliency and all kinds of things, really. What do they call it? They have so many creative names for it, but it's their wacko left climate agenda, defunded. So great job there. I was really proud of, looking through all these DHHS pork projects. And that's another thing that you have to be aware of. When you look at DHHS, they have really creative names for these things, but they're all pork spending. They're all pork projects, almost everything in there. So I thought that was great. One of these is the Paladin program. I looked that up on the website this morning, and, all it is a bunch of DEI. You look on their website, it's like, we will push DEI all the way to the extreme. Well, not anymore. They're not going to. You look at the attacks on our charter schools through the charter school transparency efforts, that's dead. We defunded that. The Office of Global Michigan is defunded their work projects. These were the ways that the Whitmer administration was funneling benefits to illegal aliens. We finally ended the firearm storage tip line. You remember that was a trick that they put in right at the end of their Democrat trifecta. They tied this tattletale firearm hotline to tell on people, your neighbors and friends. They shoved that in there with the school safety funding. Many of us voted for it, including me. But we said we were going to end this tip line. Well, today the House Appropriations Committee did that, and we're proud of them. It's finally dead. You see all kinds of things like with this indigent defense, $50 million lapse that they asked for all this money in the budget, and there's just $50 million they didn't spend. So I just say, if you're this late, it's the end of the fiscal year, and you haven't spent it, then instead of letting them squirrel it away into their slush funds for years and years and years, let's block it, let's put it in the general fund, and then let's force a discussion about what the best way to get value for your tax dollars is. So really proud of the committee. I'll just point out, the Flint drinking water emergency is over. Even Governor Whitmer has acknowledged that, but yet they continue to want to fund it and squirrel away money for it. That isn't happening. So there were a lot of really good things here. Really proud of the committee. The Office of Future Mobility Electrification, that's not happening. You look at that, this is how they continue to force the EVs and their green agenda on us. We're cutting the museum grants, we're cutting the symphony grants, all kinds of wasteful grants in the budget. The renewable energy grants, their efforts to rewrite the federal energy code into a radical left energy code. When we were identifying their waste, fraud, and abuse, there were all kinds of wasteful IT projects. You see through this process, we cut those in DTMB, in lottery, in the gaming control board, all over, cutting these IT projects that are very wasteful. DNR, we cut almost everyone in the DNR. That department is out of control. If they want some of this money back, then they're going to have to listen to Ken Borton, and they're going to have to follow through on some of the things they told him they were going to do through the budget. So really proud of him. You look at the Secretary of State, she continues to ask for more IT. We're not going to give her that until this is under the control of DTMB, where it should be, and where we've agreed to under the enforceable boilerplate language. School aid, there's a lot going on there. I think we cut some of the pork there. I think this is some of our members' favorite. They're putting the tampons in all the bathrooms, the girls' bathrooms, the boys' bathrooms. We defunded that, $1.214 million that we defunded there. So great job. All of these efforts to spy on Michiganders and the Department of Transportation, the work zone safety cameras, the school zone automated enforcement pilot study are defunded. Wonderful to see that. Just all around great job. And I'm just so impressed with you and your committee, the work you did today to really eliminate waste, fraud, and abuse. You saw how difficult it was to eliminate that first batch of waste, fraud, and abuse. All the work over a year to cut the first $800 million of waste, fraud, and abuse. And then today, in one swoop, we saw the House Appropriations Committee eliminate hundreds of more millions of dollars of waste, fraud, and abuse. And I told Winnie Brinks, when I told her about this yesterday, I said, I think this is my favorite Michigan law because they came up with a law that said one chamber, through their appropriations committee, can cut this waste, fraud, and abuse. I said, I don't know who wrote this law, but it's a great law, and we've utilized it. And I want to point out, a lot of the voters over the years have been frustrated with the Republicans because they said the Republicans never fought hard enough. I think this is an example that validates that. For when Granholm was governor, for the first 4 years of Whitmer as governor, this is a tool that the House and the Senate had at their disposal. Now, it'll be interesting to see what Kyle